Hi everybody. So this is a 6-pack of combination smoke and carbon monoxide detectors that I picked up on Amazon for about $110. So let's take a look at the outside of the package real quick. It shows all the locations in the house where you can put them, hazard types, some information on the different models, and it says 6-pack. Yeah, and supposedly these have a 10-year battery inside of them. So, yeah, that's kind of it. Let's open it up and see what they look like. Oh, it's got a little user guide booklet. It's kind of cool. Yeah, guess there's just 6 of them, right? Come on now, you. Kind of simple. Wonder if there, whoops. So, okay, so I guess taking it off of there makes it work. Is there some kind of a, oh, I'll bet this little plastic thing was probably holding a switch of some type. Yeah, it must have been. What is this doing? It's like a countdown now. Well, now I want to see what it's going to do. It's probably going to make some big, loud alarm sound. Okay. Like it just shuts off. That's weird. What the heck is that all about? All right, well, I'm definitely going to have to do some checking on that. I don't know why that just did that. Let's check this one. I don't see any like pull tab where you remove, you know, to make contact with the battery. Oh, this is doing the same thing. All right, this is definitely doing something, that little spike right there. Well, anyway, let's just take a look at the label underneath. So it's got the model number SC9111, what does it say, R? Not that old, 9/10/25. Right now it is just after Thanksgiving, so it's 11/29/25. All right, it just shut off. Well, I think I'm going to just take a look at the book really quick and see if I can figure this out. So, one moment, please. Okay, well, I've read through this book, and there's definitely some trickiness to it. Unfortunately, the book doesn't tell you, for example, you know, as your alarms arrive, this is the state they're in, this is what happens when you remove the cover. It doesn't tell you anything about that. It does have some information about using your alarm and what the signals mean, which gives you some indication of how they arrived. And then there's also a chart in here called Using Your Alarm Interconnected Systems, which has how to set the master, how to add sub-devices, exit the networking setup, and how to clear the network. Other than that, it has a lot of information in here about carbon monoxide, the alarm procedure. It does tell you what the different components are. There's a buzzer, you know, which you can kind of tell. That's where the sound comes out. The LCD screen. Then you have this test silence button, which on here it's called test or silence. But in the book, they actually call it test hush. And then you have 3 LEDs. There's a green power LED, the yellow LED for faults, and red LED for alarm. The yellow LED also doubles as you're in the networking mode light, the indicator light. So other than that, there's a bunch of information about what is carbon monoxide, safety info, possible sources of CO, what the alarm levels are defined by UL, how long, you know, depending on how many parts per million, how long that the alarm has to sound for. So it's a lot of safety warnings, stuff like that. How much CO can cause issues. Like this says 100 parts per million can cause slight headache, nausea, and fatigue. But if you get all the way up to 800, severe headache, convulsions, and vital organ failures. So not good to have that much CO. And then it has installation instructions about, where it should be located, how it should be positioned. There's also information about installing in mobile homes, floor plans of homes and stuff like that, which I think a lot of people kind of know where these should go in the building, in the bedrooms. But there's, like I said, there's not a lot about the function. And not very clear information about how these arrived. So my thought is that they did arrive connected to each other because I used this one as a test, and during the test procedure, this one started to make noise. So I think that these may be connected. But the funny thing is, none of the ones in the box made noise. So I think that this initial procedure of taking it out of the box and rotating this to the left and removing this from the device actually wakes it up. So they must have some kind of a sleep mode that they ship in because I'm pretty sure, yeah, these come made in China. So, they don't know how long these are going to sit on the shelf for, and they don't want them to be falsely triggering in a warehouse or, on a truck or on a shipping container. So I think this little finger, this little spike that sticks out of the case, that this is actually touching a switch, which you can kind of see the switch down inside there. So it's actually touching that switch and making contact with it to turn the device on or off for the shipping procedure. And actually, if we look right here on the side of the case, it does say off and on. So I guess if you put this finger in there and turn it one way, it'll be off position, and the other way would be on position. So I'm not sure if that's for power on and off, or if it's for the device being on the base, on or off. Actually, let me try that really quick. So if I line up these holding tabs, they kind of have to go on this way and then turn to the right, which would be on. But it also looks like this little finger will make contact with a switch inside there if I do that. So if I put that in and turn it to the right, nothing happens on the display, but I think that's how these arrive. Yeah, and there's definitely a switch in there. Now, the other thing could be that that switch, I wonder if they actually have this finger turn the switch on when you first open it, and then when you take it out, there's no more contact with that switch. Because it actually looks like it's a slider, an on-off slider switch attached to a circuit board. So maybe when let me feel this really quick, and then I might pause and get a flashlight and check this out with like a little screwdriver. So if it comes attached on and to the right, then I'll bet you when you turn this to the left, that little finger kicks that switch over, and then when you take it out, that switch is now in the on position. Not so sure about that. I wonder if you're actually turning it. No, you're definitely not turning it to the right. Let me get one more out of the box and see about this. Okay. So it's actually not all the way to the right. It's just sitting there. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so there is actually a switch in there. So this is not on then, right? No, this thing is turned off. And that position of that switch in there is definitely different. Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna have to get a light so we can see this better, but this switch in this device is in the off position, and this one is in the on position. I don't think I can turn the light on the camera. Hang on one sec, and let me get a flashlight, and we will look down inside there. All right, well, hopefully this will work. My little Ulanzi. Now, is that coming through clearly? Let's check this out real quick. Oh yeah, you can see the switch. So this switch is off because it slid to the right. I'm sorry, to the left. If I get this one, that one is slid to the right. So I'm going to test it really quick. Well, let me see if I hit this. Nothing. Press and hold it. See, the light just blinked. So this one's powered up, but this one, nothing. And if I take this screwdriver, there we go, now it's off. Yeah. Okay, so that's what it's doing, and they don't tell you that. But I guess just by people, taking these out of the box, yeah, and they're sitting right in the middle. They're sitting right at, like, all they did was just set this there. So that switch is in the off position. That switch is off. And then I guess they figure that maybe you'll just take this right off, screw it to the wall, and then put this in here. And when you do, and you turn it to the right, it powers up. And I don't know what this is, a 30-second countdown while it's doing an LED test. The red, yellow, green LEDs, and then it does a timer. That must be it. It's just a 30-second test mode so that you know it's functioning. And that's it. Now this puts it in test mode. Now let's see if any of these other ones blink. This one's off. This one's off. That one should be on. Yeah, this one's on. So I think this is testing the interconnected. I'm gonna let it keep going because this will turn off after a little bit. But I think this is where I triggered this one to test, and then it tells all the other ones to beep as a test. This one's blinking the red light, so I guess because that's the one I used to test, this one's not blinking any lights. This should time out. Yeah, there you go. This light just turned off. Okay, and then it did a short blink of green really quick. And I did see that in the manual. I guess all of these, while they're powered up, while they're just sitting on the wall or on the ceiling or whatever, every 45 seconds, the little green LED will just blink really fast, just to tell you that, hey, I'm still here, I'm waiting or whatever. So yeah, I guess what I'll do next, now that I did a test on those, I don't know which one is the master, I actually don't know how to find out which one is the master. I don't know if it matters. But there is a networking setup. I'm going to do this really quick. I'm going to turn these on. Now I know how to do this, right? And actually this off on matches, right? So off to the left, on to the right. There's that one going through a countdown. Same with this one. That's on. This one's already on. You just take that off the wall. This one's already on. So let's wait for these because I want to do a test now. I'm just going to pick one, probably this one. I'll use this one. I'll do the test. I'll press and hold. I think you have to press and hold for like 3 seconds and it goes into test mode. And then we'll see if all the other ones react and make the beeping sound like this one did when I tested that one. Okay. Cover that up. Okay, now this is done. Oh yeah. Huh, that's pretty cool. All right, so now let me try on this one. So I basically press and hold. One. All right, it blinked once. I guess you have to just press and hold until that red light blinks, and then you can let go of it. And it does its 4 beeps again. And now it goes into broadcast mode. And to shut it off, you just press that button one time. And then the test ends. So that's cool. One thing I will tell you is that if you press and hold it for too long, then it will go into network setup mode. And I think that said 10 seconds. Oh, no, I'm wrong about that. Let's see here. 10 seconds. What? No, 10 seconds was... I guess I'm wrong about the 10 seconds because it says here for setting the master device, press the button 3 times on any device. So I'll just pick this one. 1, 2, 3. That didn't work. 1, 2, 3. There. Now the little yellow LED turned on. So now this one is ready to be set up as the master. And then you can go to any of the sub-devices and press the button 3 times briefly on another device. And then you'll get 2 short beeps with a red LED flashing. To exit the networking mode on the master, you just press the button and the yellow light turns off. And that's it. If you want to clear the, oh, here we go. If you want to clear the network, if you want none of these to be connected, it says press the button for 10 seconds. When 3 LED lights are on, then you release the button and press it again for 3 seconds. You'll get 3 short beeps and the red LED will flash and then you'll basically clear the whole network. But when I did that before, so let me press. Okay, so that short red beep means, or red blink means you can let go and it'll do test mode. If I keep holding it, now you get all 3 LEDs. Now, if I press and hold again, then it'll clear the network, which I kind of don't want to do. So I guess it just exits. It's done at that point. If you don't do anything, it doesn't clear the network. So I guess that's a safety so that you can't inadvertently clear the network by just pressing and holding the button. You have to have 2 actions, press and hold for 10 seconds, then let go when the lights come on, and then press again for 3 seconds, and then you get the beeps and it'll clear the network. So yeah, it's a little cryptic. I mean, it's like the information is here. It's just not really laid out great. There's some other things in here, what the signals mean. So for test, this is where I got a lot of the information about the test procedure that I did. It says test/silence button, press when no alarm condition is present. It tells you what the visual indicators mean. It says the red LED blinks in time with alarm pattern. The LCD screen displays the smoke and CO2 concentration. The red LED blinks 30 seconds to trigger integrated alarm signal. Okay, so that is what makes everything else go. So if I press this and hold it just long enough for the red light to come on, and then let go, so it's in test mode. First it's showing fire or smoke. Then it goes into CO mode. And it's basically telling you, there's no CO. And then you'll get 30 seconds of this, at least until you hit the silence button and then it all shuts off. So that's very helpful right there. It also tells you the audible indications. So smoke is 3 long beeps followed by a pause and then 3 more long beeps. And then for CO, you'll get 4 short beeps, a pause, and 4 short beeps, which it did. It did that during the test. And then the action/note, it says perform test/silence button press once a week to verify proper alarm operation. So I guess once a week they want you to pick an alarm. Doesn't really matter. I could do this one. And press and hold it. Red light, let go. Go through this whole thing. Smoke first. And then CO. And then it'll trigger everything else. And you press the silence button, and eventually it shuts them all off. Now the other thing it has here is smoke or CO alarm. The red LED blinks in time with the alarm pattern. Just like before, I guess this is when it's actually in alarm mode. If it's smoke or CO, the light will blink in the pattern with the alarm. And then for smoke, it's the 3 long beeps if it's a smoke alarm. If it's a CO alarm, you'll get the 4 short beeps. And that'll continue. After 4 minutes, it turns into 4 short beeps with a pause for 1 minute. So I guess it'll initially alarm and go for 4 minutes if nothing happens, if you don't press anything or if the smoke doesn't go away or whatever. And then it'll just go back into this cycle of 4 short beeps and pause for a whole minute. And then it says alarm memory is only retained for 72 hours. So I guess maybe that means it'll run this 4 short beeps with a pause every minute. It'll run that for 72 hours and then stop. I don't really know. For smoke alarm and silence mode, it says the red LED blinks every 8 seconds. So I guess if it happened to trigger on smoke and you press the silence button, the red LED will just blink every 8 seconds. After test hush button is pushed, smoke alarm pattern stops. If there is too much smoke to allow hush, smoke alarm pattern continues. Okay, so if it does trigger a smoke alarm and there's too much smoke and you try to hush it, it won't let you hush. This feature is to be used only when a button alarm condition, when a known alarm condition, such as smoke from cooking, activates the alarm. Push the test hush button during hush to clear the hush and perform a test. Okay. CO alarm silence. The red LED blinks as alarm status. After the hush button, the CO alarm beeps, stops. CO alarm silence continuous for, I think it says 6 minutes. If CO concentration is higher than 150 ppm, the silence function will not work. Re-alarm means danger. Move to fresh air and call 911. Okay. So I guess if it's triggered by a CO alarm and the CO is too high, then the silence button won't work. It won't let you shut it off because it wants you to get out, basically. And then network setup. Let's see here. It says master device, yellow LED steady on. Sub device, red LED blinks 3 times. Sub device, 3 short beeps. Press the button 3 times briefly. So let's try that. Okay. It's almost like you can make any one of them the master, and I don't know what you need to have a master for. I mean, does it matter to know which one is the master? It doesn't seem to, I don't see anything in here that says what's so important about that. I mean, you can set a master, but I guess is that just what everything goes through? Like, for example, if I make this the master, should that be centered, located centrally in the building so that a faraway alarm can trigger the master and then the master will trigger everything else? Is that the purpose behind it? I don't really know what the purpose is with the master. It doesn't say anything in here about which one should be the master. Yeah, not really sure. But anyway, one of them can be the master, but it looks like all of these are already paired together because, even though they're not set, this thing is just kind of placed in there. It looks like they're already connected to each other. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else there is to go through in this book, but it looks like these are okay. I mean, as long as they actually trigger when there is smoke or CO, then, they fulfill the purpose of what I need them for, which is to be an interconnected alarm in the house so that if, there's a smoke alarm down in the basement, it triggers everything else. If there's one in the back bedroom, it'll trigger everything else. That's basically the whole purpose of this. So, yeah, pretty cool. And so far they look good. I'm actually looking forward to installing these in the building and, seeing how they function over time. So, pretty cool. I think the only thing we didn't look at yet was, here's the label, the Amazon label with the part number. And yeah, that's kind of it. So there you have it. Pretty long video, but an unboxing of CO2 combination smoke and CO detectors from Amazon. Well, if you have any questions or any comments, post them below. And thanks for watching. If you like my videos, please give a thumbs up and please subscribe.